Ghosts know how to have fun because they're spirited. Skeleton didn't go to the Halloween party because he had nobody to go with. You'll never find a vampire in a bakery because they always loaf around. What do skeletons order at restaurants? Spare ribs. Frankenstein goes to parties because he loves a jolt of fun. Werewolves don't like fast food because they're always wolfing it down. A mummy's favourite kind of music is rap. Vampires aren't fans of math because they can't do reflections. Witches keep their lives together with broomstick and bubblegum. When ghosts fall in love, they say, "Boo's the one." Skeletons always get into arguments because they're bone-headed. Witches are great chefs because they season everything to the cauldron. I don't ghost people, I'm just supernaturally social. Zombies make bad comedians. They always bomb with deadpan delivery. The Grim Reaper has a Tinder profile called Death Do Us Part. Vampires avoid mirrors because they can't handle their glow down. Witches don't play games, they spell it out for you. Ghosts hate rain because it dampens their spirits. A ghoul's favourite dessert is ice cream. Vampires aren't morning people because dawn's a killer. The pumpkin was late to the party because he got squashed. Werewolves are great hairdressers. They can style and howl. Witches always tell the best puns because they have exceptional humour. Ghosts hate exercise because they can't handle heavy booting. Vampires hate barbecues because they can't handle the steak. Mummies love Halloween because they get to unwrap their wild side. Ghosts like to stay in shape by scare aerobics. Pumpkins make great detectives. They always squash rumours. Skeletons are such bad liars because you can see right through them. Ghosts are bad at football because they always fumble the boo all. Monsters throw the best parties because they're fantastic hosts. Ghosts love school because they're always making the honour spirit. Zombies are loyal, they're in it for the long haul and crawl. Vampires make bad actors because they can't take any shine. Mummies can't text back because they're too wrapped up in their phones. Skeletons are terrible singers because they don't have the guts. Ghosts are so polite because they always say, "Boo, excuse me." Vampires love online shopping because it's a real bloodbath of deals. Werewolves make great fitness coaches. They're always in beast mode. Witches are never single because they're so bewitching. Zombies go to therapy to work out their dead issues. Skeletons never go to the gym. They're already ripped. Ghouls make great servers because they always bring the scare this. The mummy got in trouble for wrapping up the job poorly. Ghosts love sweets, but they don't like candy corn. It's too corneating. Dracula failed his driving test because he kept veering off course. Vampires make bad carpenters. They always miss the stake. Zombies don't eat popcorn because it gets stuck in their brains. Frankenstein hates his birthday. It always turns into a shock fest. Vampires hate karaoke because they can't find their own voice. Ghouls play bad defense. They're always spooking too early. Mummies hate New Year's. They don't like unwrapping resolutions. Werewolves are the best athletes. They're naturally ripped. Frankenstein didn't become a doctor because he hates shocking results. Ghosts love social media because they love to haunt their exes. Vampires don't do tech support because they're afraid of bugs. Skeletons are terrible at poker because they have no skin in the game. Witches are great magicians. They know all the beautiful tricks. Ghosts are bad dancers. They always do the boogie. Vampires love concerts because it's a bite of a good time. Zombies don't like golf because they always lose their heads. Witches never diet. They love double toil and trouble. Vampires don't like garlic bread. It's needless cruelty. The mummy got promoted for always wrapping up on time. Werewolves are great drummers. They always have the right beats. Ghosts love good puns. They're beautifully clever. Vampires love apple cider. It's to die for. Zombies are bad at chess. They can never get ahead. Witches always have the best food because they're spell chefs. Ghosts hate winter. They get the chills way too easily. Skeletons love Halloween because it's bona fide fun. Vampires only drink coffee at night. It's decaffeinated. Zombies hate roller coasters. They can't keep it together. Witches do yoga. They love to witch and stretch. Frankenstein's monster got a makeover. It was an electric new look. Vampires don't like poetry because it's too heartfelt. Werewolves make bad secret agents because they're always barking. Witches never ghost you. They'll always broom you off politely. Skeletons are DJs. They know how to drop the bone. Mummies never fall apart. They hold things together like a pro. Ghosts love makeup. They know all the best booty tips. Vampires don't do social media because they hate going viral. Frankenstein's monster failed art school. He was too wired for creativity. Ghosts always tip well. They love scarcity. Zombies make great chefs. They're experts in brainstorming. Skeletons love hanging out. They're always bone tired. Vampires are great dressers. They have the best nightwear. Werewolves hate fashion trends. They're naturally hairy stylish. Ghosts have no time for drama because they're all about chill. Mummies hate loud parties. They're wrapped in introversion. Witches make the best sandwiches. They know how to brutifully stack. Skeletons love salsa. They're bon vivants. Vampires don't eat chips. They can't handle the crunch. Zombies get sleepy fast. They're dead tired. Werewolves are late risers. They hate waking up in the first place. Ghosts make good pets. They always haunt you around. Skeletons love jazz. They're really in sync with the rhythm. Witches are the best stylists. They know how to hex and glam. Frankenstein was bad in school because he always had shocking grades. Vampires hate spring cleaning. It's just a bloody mess. Skeletons never take up jobs as doctors. They don't have the heart for it. Ghosts are great at improv comedy. They always wing it. The witch brought a cake to the party. She's known for her special desserts. Vampires make bad landlords. They're afraid of windows. Ghosts can't tell a secret because they're always whispering boo. Werewolves make terrible roommates. They howl night and day. Mummies are terrible bakers. They always leave things wrapped up. Skeletons are invited to parties because they light up the room. Vampires are into film noir because it's dark and biting. Ghosts always fail their singing exams. They don't hit the boo notes. Witches are never late. They always fly on time. Zombies hate cardio. It's hard to run without legs. Skeletons avoid skateboarding. They're afraid of breaking a bone. Vampires love watching the sunrise in movies. It's cinematic thrill. Ghosts don't do well in cold weather. They get the chills too easily. Witches don't work with computers. They have their own spells. Zombies don't shop online. It costs them an arm and a leg. Skeletons never change their wardrobes. They're bare bones fashionable. Ghosts are terrible at hide and seek. You can always see right through them. Vampires love mystery novels because they love a good bite plot. Mummies never win races. They're too wrapped up to run. Werewolves are bad baristas. They always forget the cream. Skeletons make great detectives because they always have a bone to pick. Ghosts can't handle modern technology. They find it hauntingly complicated. Vampires hate seafood. They're not into fish and chips. Zombies don't play soccer because they always lose their heads. Witches' meetings are always on brooms. They're serious business flyers. Werewolves can't work at nightclubs. They can't hold their howls in. Mummies don't use microwaves. They reheat the old-fashioned way. Skeletons make bad hairstylists. They lack the proper tools for the job. Vampires love classical music because it's dark and moody. Zombies never play instruments. They're bad with their hands. Witches make great bakers because they love a good spell. Skeletons only eat at bony restaurants. They don't have a taste for flesh. Ghosts have a hard time traveling. They always get spooked at security. Vampires hate vegetables. They only go for the blood type. Zombies hate Christmas because they're not into unwrapping. Skeletons avoid love stories. They don't have the heart for romance. Ghosts are terrible lifeguards. They just float through their jobs. Vampires can't stand gym lights. They always bring their own shades. Werewolves can't work in offices. They can't keep up with the paper trail. Skeletons only dance to disco. They live for the bone groove. Zombies make bad customers. They can't stop groaning about prices. Mummies are terrible drivers. They can't keep their eyes on the road. Ghosts are terrible at accounting. They always lose their figures. Vampires avoid cooking shows. They're not interested in garlic recipes. Werewolves love sports, but can't handle the ferocious competition. Zombies can't play chess because they never get ahead. Witches love sports drinks. They keep them spellishly hydrated. Skeletons are horrible liars because you can see right through them. Vampires make bad stylists. They don't care for reflections. Werewolves are bad at bowling. They always howl at the pins. Mummies love Halloween because they can wrap it up in style. Zombies can't handle good wine. It just rots in their system. Skeletons always laugh last. They've got real dry humour. Ghosts make terrible party planners. They always fade out early. Vampires don't get Wi-Fi because they're into dark web only. Werewolves love rock music because they're wild at heart. Mummies hate horror movies because they already know the ending. Witches never play Monopoly. They'd rather brew up fun. Zombies hate roller coasters. They come undone too fast. Skeletons love corny jokes. They've got no shame. Vampires are really into puzzles. It's a brainy bite for them. Witches love coffee. Brewing's in their blood. Zombies never play soccer because they lack the head for it. Skeletons never lie because they're open to the bone. Ghosts avoid haunted houses. They're too close to home. Vampires only eat in the dark because they hate overexposure. Werewolves make bad neighbours. They're always howling at night. Mummies don't trust online dating. They don't unwrap for strangers. Skeletons make terrible politicians because they're transparent. Ghosts never watch sad movies. They don't like boo-hooing. Vampires hate barbecues because they can't take the heat. Werewolves don't like salons. They don't need any more waxing. Mummies don't go to tanning salons because they like being pale. Skeletons love the beach because it's always sand-tastic. Ghosts never gossip. They never whisper a soul's secret. Vampires love coffee but hate the steak bugs. Werewolves avoid therapy. It just makes them howl more. Skeletons don't like roller coasters. They're too unsteady. Mummies love horror stories. They find them quite binding. Ghosts make great librarians. They never ghost their books. Vampires avoid hot baths. They hate being boiled. Werewolves love moonlight walks. It's how they unwind. Zombies don't eat cereal because they can't handle the crunch. Skeletons love Halloween movies. They find them humorous. Witches hate the beach because they can't fly well there. Vampires hate nightlights. It's too much sparkle. Mummies love surprise parties. They just roll with it. Skeletons make terrible poker players because they don't bluff. Zombies hate Thanksgiving because they don't understand cranberries. Ghosts love music. They're big on boop tracks. Vampires love horror shows because they're biting entertainment. Witches prefer group projects because they like team brewing. Skeletons make great anchors. They have backbone. Mummies don't do public speaking because they're wrapped in nerves. Zombies never text back. They're always feeling dead inside. Ghosts avoid bungee jumping. They're scared stiff. Werewolves aren't into selfies. They're camera-shy for real. Vampires are clean freaks because they can't handle dirty blood. Zombies hate traffic. They're bad at moving forward. Ghosts love museums because they feel right at home. Witches only eat bubblegum because it's brew-friendly. Vampires love mystery novels because they're full of bite and suspense. Ghosts don't like the rain because it messes with their spirits. Ghosts avoid public speaking because they're too faint-hearted. Skeletons can't keep secrets. They spill the bones. Witches love comedy clubs. They're spellbound by laughter. Vampires hate bright colours. They're all about the dark side. Werewolves don't need calendars. They live by the moon. Zombies hate parties. They can't handle the crowd. Skeletons never complain. They don't have a bone to pick. Ghosts are big fans of the internet. They love haunting search engines. Vampires make bad decorators. They stick to blood-red themes. Werewolves are loyal. They're always by your side. Forever. Mummies love puzzles because they love a good wrap-up. Skeletons hate surprises. They're too bare-boned to react. Ghosts love candy corn. They say it's frightfully sweet. Vampires have bad tempers because they're easily blood-boiled. Werewolves love rock music because they're into beast mode. Zombies avoid libraries. They hate getting lost in thought. Mummies have amazing parties. They wrap up the night perfectly. Ghosts avoid snow. They don't want to be ghosted out in the cold. Vampires love gothic art. It's drop-dead gorgeous. Werewolves hate the beach. They don't like getting sand-furred. Zombies never gamble because they don't have enough brains. Skeletons make terrible surgeons. They can't stand a cutting edge. Witches are morning people. They love brewing at dawn. Vampires make poor athletes because they can't stand the light. Mummies are terrible barbers. They can't stop wrapping things up. Ghosts are always invited to weddings. They bring haunting good vibes. Skeletons never tell lies because they have a bony conscience. Zombies hate dinners because they're always about brains, not food. Witches love gardening because they know how to grow spells. Vampires hate winter sports because they don't like the chills. Werewolves can't be referees. They're too furious. Ghosts hate camping because they always get cold feet. Mummies don't like plane trips. They're always too wrapped for travel. Skeletons are terrible baristas. They make bone-dry lattes. Vampires avoid elevators because they hate up and down moods. Werewolves don't like modern art. It's too wolfy for them. Zombies avoid Halloween parties because they're dead serious. Ghosts are amazing at hide and seek. They're beautifully hidden. Werewolves love coffee because it's wickedly dark. Vampires are afraid of bugs. They don't want an infection. Mummies hate computers because they're afraid of getting unwrapped. Skeletons make terrible lawyers. They're too transparent. Zombies never do karaoke. They don't have the voice for it. Ghosts avoid jokes. They boo their own punchlines. Vampires hate beaches. They prefer the dark tides. Werewolves love forests. They're naturally forest-loving. Mummies make terrible tailors. They can't stop hemming and hawing. Skeletons make good therapists. They're bone-deep listeners. Ghosts hate echo chambers. They haunt outside opinions. Zombies never play soccer. They lose track of their heads. Witches don't do crosswords. They prefer their own spellings. Vampires avoid streetlights. They prefer natural night lighting. Werewolves love Halloween. It's how they get down. Mummies don't like loud music. They wrap it up early. Skeletons are bad teachers. They're too bare bones for detail. Ghosts are great at chess. They always make a ghost move. Vampires love jazz clubs. It's a bloody good time. Zombies are terrible bakers. They mess up everything half-brained. Mummies hate roller coasters. They get unravelled. Werewolves love barbecues. It's a beast of a time. Vampires avoid beaches. They stay in bat caves. Skeletons love fall because they blend right in. Ghosts avoid mirrors. They don't want to see through themselves. Witches are obsessed with their brooms because it sweeps them away. Vampires hate dentists. They don't like people probing. Mummies are bad at sports. They're all wrapped up. Werewolves are in love with the moon because it's forever theirs. Skeletons make bad employees. They never show up to meetings. Ghosts avoid coffee shops. They find them spiritless. Vampires love red wine. It's in their bloodline. Zombies hate high fives. They don't handle hand contact. Witches are into essential oils. It's witchy wellness. Vampires hate parties because they get drained. Werewolves avoid tanning. They don't want a hot paw. Ghosts hate loud noises. They spook too easily. Mummies are neat freaks. They love wrapping things up. Skeletons are terrible actors. They lack a bone for drama. Vampires avoid concerts. They can't stand the light. Werewolves avoid mirrors. They find themselves hairy scary. Zombies avoid showers because they hate being reanimated. Mummies love games. They get wrapped up in them. Skeletons are night owls. They don't feel the light. Ghosts enjoy haunted houses. They feel right at home. Vampires hate spice. They don't want a hot bite. Werewolves are rockers. They live for the how-low scene. Witches are great brewers. They brew it up. Zombies don't eat chips. They hate crunchiness. Vampires love being called batty. It's a point of pride. Werewolves are so hairy. They're a pawsome sight. Ghosts hate ice cream. It's too boozy cold. Mummies keep up with trends. They're always wrapping up. Skeletons are hipsters. They're bare-boned. Vampires avoid bakeries. They're too sweet. Witches do yoga. They're spell flexible. Zombies avoid mazes. They lose their heads. Werewolves love the woods because they're forever wild. Vampires avoid spring. They don't like the light. Mummies avoid tech. They're too wrapped in. Skeletons avoid picnics. They're bare bones picky. Ghosts love movies. They're bootify. Vampires hate dentists. It's a bite. Werewolves are hairy. They're pawsome. Witches cast spells. It's bewitching. Zombies don't swim. They're half-brained. Ghosts haunt. They're spirited. Mummies are neat. They rap well. Skeletons are funny. They're bare-humoured. Vampires are dark. They're bitey. Werewolves are wild. They're formidable. Zombies are slow. They're undead tired. Ghosts are cold. They're spooky chilly. Mummies are ancient. They're history bound. Skeletons are dry. They're bare-boned. Vampires are chill. They're cool-blooded. Werewolves howl. They're wildly hairy. Ghosts hide. They're spooky shy. Mummies are classic. They're wrapped in style. Skeletons are transparent. They're bone sea. Vampires avoid garlic. They're bitey picky. Zombies are lazy. They're bare-brained. Ghosts are light. They're beautiful. Mummies are soft. They're gentle rap. Skeletons are honest. They're bare truthful. Vampires avoid dawn. It's a day ender. Werewolves grow. They're pawsome furry. Ghosts are breezy. They're airborne. Mummies are tight. They're wrapped snugly. Skeletons are open, they're see-through. Vampires avoid sun, they're bitey averse. Werewolves are furry, they're wolf ready. Ghosts are faint, they're barely there. Mummies are sealed, they're wrapped tight. Skeletons are open, they're bare bones. Vampires bite, they're fangful. Werewolves howl, their fur wild. Ghosts boo, they're spookily bold. Mummies trap, they're rap ready. Skeletons are funny, they're bare humoured. Vampires sleep, they're day ready. Werewolves grow, they're furry wild. Ghost, skeletons don't mind the cold, they're bone chilled already. Ghosts are bad with credit, they're always in the red. Vampires make great poets, they really put their soul into it. Zombies hate fast food, they can't keep up. Werewolves can't keep secrets, they're too much of a lone howl. Witches are bad at charades, they always spell things out. Mummies hate yoga, they get all wrapped up in it. Skeletons never play sports, they're afraid of breaking a leg. Ghosts don't do school, they're naturally spirited. Vampires never eat steak, they prefer rare bites. Vampires love coffee, it's brain fuel. Werewolves hate fog, they get lost in the mist. Witches are great at networking, they know all the right spells. Mummies avoid bonfires, they don't want to get unwrapped. Skeletons hate pillows, they're all about bare bones comfort. Ghosts have bad vision, they're always spooking up the wrong tree. Vampires hate flowers, they prefer the scent of nightshade. Zombies are bad dancers, they're always stiff. Werewolves don't need GPS, they just follow their nose. Witches hate yoga, they can't stay grounded. Mummies don't sunbathe, they're preserved perfectly. Skeletons avoid nightclubs, they don't have a bone for rhythm. Ghosts make great writers, they have plenty of haunting stories. Vampires are bookworms, they sink their teeth into a good read. Zombies make bad cooks, always mess up the recipes. Werewolves are bad at carpooling, they howl too much in traffic. Witches love music festivals, it's all about the potions and vibes. Mummies hate loose ends, they like things wrapped up tight. Skeletons never play hide and seek, they're too easy to find. Ghosts don't need maps, they just go with the spirit flow. Vampires hate morning coffee, it's a bitter end. Zombies are night owls, they get reanimated after dark. Werewolves don't eat cereal, they're allergic to silver spoons. Witches plan Halloween parties they're spellbound to host. Mummies hate zippers, they prefer wraps only. Skeletons can't use sunscreen, they don't have a surface for it. Ghosts hate libraries, they find them hauntingly quiet. Vampires love mystery novels, they're a bloody good read. Zombies have no fashion sense, they're just draped up in rags. Werewolves are bad at babysitting, they can't keep their howl down. These are plant-based, they love a good herb garden. Mummies don't like computers, they're afraid of unravelling tech. Skeletons are terrible at poker, they can't keep a poker face. Ghosts are great DJs, they're all about the boots and beats. Vampires are picky eaters, they only eat out at night. Zombies don't do CrossFit, they break too easily. Werewolves love karaoke, they get to let out a good howl. Witches love pumpkin spice, they brew it every autumn. Mummies hate ironing, they prefer their natural wrinkles. Skeletons love concerts, they're all about bare bone sound. Ghosts are terrible weather forecasters, they always predict fog. Vampires hate photo shoots, they're never in the picture. Zombies hate makeup, it just falls off. Werewolves hate shopping, they prefer howling at deals. Witches hate math class, they're all about spellcasting, not spell checking. Mummies avoid water, they don't want to dissolve. Skeletons don't like roller coasters, they're too bony for the bumps. Ghosts don't do Zoom calls. They get lost in the ether. Vampires hate road trips. They avoid daylight driving. Zombies are terrible on social media. They're not lively enough. Werewolves are morning joggers. They need a moonlit warm-up. Witches are great at chemistry. They have all the right potions. Mummies are great multitaskers. They keep it all wrapped up. Skeletons are known to crack jokes. They've got a bone-dry wit. Ghosts are fantastic hiders. They go unseen in plain sight. Vampires hate apples. They can't handle the pectin. Zombies don't do puzzles. They lack focus on the pieces. Werewolves hate bath time. They just shake it off. Witches hate vacations. They're always too busy brewing. Mummies avoid cats. They hate getting unravelled. Skeletons avoid politics. They prefer to keep it bare bones. Ghosts never pick up the phone. They keep you waiting on the other side. Vampires hate the 4th of July. It's too much sun and sparkle. Zombies don't like chess. They lose track of their heads. Werewolves never get cold. They've got fur for days. Witches are big on podcasts. They brew up big discussions. Mummies avoid tight spaces. They hate feeling restricted. Skeletons are bad at charades. They're all bones, no body. Ghosts make great photographers. They capture haunting moments. Vampires hate glitter. It's too sparkly for their taste. Zombies hate elevators. They can't handle the ups and downs. Werewolves avoid swimming. They hate wet fur. Witches never get tired. They're spell-fueled night and day. Mummies hate online shopping. They don't trust the unwrapping process. Skeletons avoid sports cars. They're afraid of bone rattling. Ghosts hate writing. They get too spooked by their own stories. Vampires avoid flowers. They find roses overrated. Zombies are bad at chess. They lose their heads. Werewolves hate poetry. They prefer howling in their thoughts. Witches don't like selfies. They prefer reflection spells. Mummies avoid potlucks. They don't like sharing their wrap. Skeletons are into jazz. They love a good bones rhythm. Ghosts hate singing. They're too booshy. Vampires are bad at concerts. They can't handle the strobe lights. Zombies don't use perfume. They prefer a natural scent. Werewolves love Halloween night. It's a howl fest. Witches avoid glitter. It's too spellbinding to clean up. Mummies are minimalists. They keep it tightly wrapped. Skeletons are great at marathons. They're barely breaking a sweat. Ghosts that make great referees. They're beautifully fair. Vampires hate solar power. It's too energizing for them. Zombies are never on time. They're dead tired. Werewolves make terrible librarians. They howl at the quiet. Witches always know the time. They're clocked in on spells. Mummies avoid spaghetti. They hate tangling with noodles. Skeletons have big families. They're a bonanza. Ghosts are good with jokes. They're always cracking up. Vampires hate disco. They can't handle the mirror balls. Zombies hate the dentist. They're falling apart enough. Werewolves love classic rock. They're all about that howl. Witches don't use GPS. They're spelled in the right direction. Mummies hate clutter. They need space for their wraps. Skeletons hate dress codes. They're bare minimum. Ghosts avoid blinds. They prefer spooky sunlight. Vampires are picky with drinks. They avoid Bloody Marys. Zombies don't use pencils. They can't hold them right. Werewolves hate sneezing. It shakes up their howl. Witches love social media. They share spectacular tips. Mummies avoid group hugs. They wrapped up too tightly. Skeletons are terrible poets. They lack flesh in their words. A man named Ted was travelling on business and, after a long day, he checked into an old hotel he'd found online. The place was a bit run down, but the clerk assured him it was clean, cosy, and, most importantly, cheap. When Ted got to his room on the top floor, He couldn't help but notice a spooky vibe, but he was too tired to care. As he settled in, there was a knock at the door. He opened it to find the bellboy looking pale as a ghost. "Sir, are you sure you want to stay in this room?" the bellboy asked. Ted shrugged. "Why not? It's just a hotel room, right?" The bellboy leaned in, whispering, "Sir, they say this room is haunted. Guests have seen a ghost here every night for the past 100 years. Ted laughed, assuming it was just a story meant to scare the tourists, but the bellboy insisted. "I'm serious. Everyone who stays here sees the ghost of a headless man. They say he wanders the halls, moaning about his missing head." Ted chuckled nervously and brushed him off, deciding to call it a night. He tried to sleep, but the wind howled outside, making eerie sounds. Just as he was finally drifting off, he heard it, a faint, ghostly whisper. "Where is my head?" Ted froze, the hairs on his arms standing up. "No way," he thought. But then he heard it again. "Where is my head?" He panicked, quickly pulling the blankets over his head. The voice only got louder. "Where is my head?" Suddenly he felt a tap on his shoulder. Trembling, he peeked out from under the covers. There, at the end of his bed, was a translucent figure, a man without a head. Up, his heart pounding as the ghostly figure took a step forward, moaning louder. "Where is my head?" Unable to control himself, Ted screamed, "I don't know. Try under the bed." The ghost paused, looking under the bed. Then, as if realizing Ted couldn't help, he sighed, shrugged, and left the room, muttering, "I'll check the next room." Ted, bewildered and relieved, calmed down and whispered, "I guess he was just looking for a heads up." Ghosts make terrible comedians. They can't handle the booze. Vampires are terrible chefs. They always bite off more than they can chew. Witches make great team players. They're all about witchcraft. Skeletons are bad at poker. They don't have the guts to bluff. Zombies avoid fast food. It's not brainy enough. Ghosts love to stay informed. They're always in the loop. Vampires only play dark jokes. They can't handle the daylight humor. Mummies are terrible hairdressers. They wrap it up every style. Werewolves are scared of spa days. They're afraid of getting a close shave. Ghosts never attend meetings. They're always ghosting. Skeletons don't like jazz. They find it too bone-rattling. Zombies are great at geography. They know every dead end. Witches love plants. They're all about herbal remedies. Vampires hate mirrors. They can't reflect on anything. Werewolves hate road trips. They get car sick of silver cars. Ghosts make bad rock climbers. They always drop off. Mummies hate online shopping. They can't stand unwrapping surprises. Skeletons love camping. They say it's intense. Zombies aren't early risers. They're dead tired in the morning. Witches make great authors. They're spellbinding. Vampires aren't into selfies. They prefer biting images. Werewolves are terrible roommates. They're always shedding. Mummies can't stand action movies. They're too wrapped up in suspense. Skeletons love the cold. They're bone-chilled. Ghosts are shy musicians. They only play the air guitar. Vampires hate candles. They're sick of burning daylight. Werewolves never carry umbrellas. They just let it howl. Zombies are terrible drivers. They can't keep up the pace. Witches love the autumn leaves. They say fall is enchanting. Skeletons are always the life of the party. They never fall apart. Ghosts avoid social media. They don't want to be exposed. Vampires love old movies. They crave nostalgia. Zombies never wear watches. They're always losing track of time. Werewolves hate meditation. Too quiet for a good howl. Witches make terrible electricians. They always short-circuit. Skeletons hate bubble baths. They can't keep afloat. Ghosts are afraid of DIY projects. They can't handle being seen. Vampires hate cinnamon. They say it's too spicy for a bite. Mummies avoid open windows. Hate being unwrapped. Zombies don't play chess. They can't focus on the pieces. Witches don't like horror movies. They're already in one. Skeletons make bad detectives. They can't flesh out the details. Ghosts don't like fruit. It's just too unpeeling. Vampires hate spicy food. It burns like sunlight. Werewolves avoid dog parks. They don't want to show their wild side. Mummies aren't great cooks. They always wrap the leftovers. Zombies hate online dating. They keep losing their matches. Witches love the library. It's spellbinding literature. Skeletons have no memory. They can't keep it in their bones. Ghosts are terrible with technology. They're always ghosting the connection.